Good evening from California. This is Joe Nicasio, business mentor. And the topic of today is we're continuing this conversation on poverty ends in the mirror. And the subtopic today is we are tattooed in our cradles with the beliefs of the tribe. One day that quote got downloaded into me from the universe, from God, whatever. But there's this idea that we are tattooed in our cradles with the beliefs of our tribe. In other words, a lot of the things we believe in are based on where did we grow up? Who is our family? Who are the people that we grew up around? What is the culture that we learn within? So we are tattooed in our cradles with the beliefs of our tribe. And the promise I have for you, the promise I have for you today is if you're willing to travel outside of your tribe, mentally, emotionally, educationally, you're willing to learn from people outside of your tribe, then there's a really good chance that you can grow in areas. And so, environment is super important. If you're in the wrong environment, if you take an average kid and put them around a bunch of successful people, they will get elevated and grow. If you take that same average kid and put them around a bunch of, let's just call them losers or people that are playing a smaller game, they'll descend and they'll start doing worse. And so, environment is really composed of three parts. There's the physical environment. There's the people in your environment, and there are the ideas in your environment. So, why do we need to sometimes travel? Look, if our physical environment doesn't support us, we're probably not going to grow very well. If our, you know, most people, if we have people in our environment that don't love us and support us and encourage us, we're probably not going to do very well. And then the ideas in our environment. If you want to learn something and you're not surrounded by experts that can teach you how to do that. For example, if you want to be a surgeon and you want to learn how to do, I don't know, open heart surgery, if you're in a tribe that doesn't teach that, you'll never learn that. You can't learn from people who haven't done it. But here's the promise: is if you get into a supportive physical environment, if you surrounded by people that love you, and then the ideas. This is the big one. Are you surrounded by geniuses in the thing that you want to learn about? Then this is why it's super important sometimes to do this idea of I call tribe hopping. And so um, look, we can't learn from people who haven't done it. You can't learn how to be a millionaire from somebody that's living in poverty. Poverty ends in the mirror, and it also, it's a reflection of who are we surrounded by ourselves. The good news today is we have the internet. We do have the opportunity to expand uh, and learn from people all over the world. So, um, there's a book called, I think this was from The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clayson. And one of the lessons is you can't learn about jewelry from a bricklayer. You can't learn about jewelry from a bricklayer. So if you want to learn about jewelry and you don't have, jewelers in your tribe, you might need to travel and find jewelers that you can learn from. And that's it's a metaphor for anything. If you want, how can you possibly learn to be, a millionaire if you're surrounded by people who haven't really made millions? So, the stuff that I teach, it's a context of really building a business. Do what you love for yourself and your clients. Share the love through your service and good marketing so you can receive the love in the form of gratitude, appointments, cash, repeat business, referral business, etc. So, let's talk a little bit about how do you do this now? How do you do this tribe hopping? First thing is, what is it that you want to learn? And obviously, you want to learn as much as you can from within your tribe. But and what do you want to become an expert at? That's really important too. And then the third step is, who can you learn from? And the good news is, you can read books, you can watch videos, you can take seminars, you can take online courses, or you can even hire a mentor, which sometimes it's highly recommended. Now, my background is I come from a background of electrical engineering and technology. I made $1 million in technology, and I lost everything, and I got very depressed. Smart people aren't supposed to fail, but I failed. But I was really blessed because I did get the opportunity to receive mentorship from a guy named Jay Abraham, and I was so committed to never failing again. I went to one of Jay's $5,000 events after I lost everything. I put $500 on a credit card, and I prayed, for the rest. And I went to that event, and it was mind blowing. I learned I was good at technology, but I didn't know about the marketing and the sales and the business development. And so when I got exposed to this genius stuff that was outside of my electrical engineering tribe, and I started to learn from a marketing and sales and business growth expert, learning from that tribe, I was blown away. So after that first paid seminar, Jay's office contacted me like, Joe, you want to go to the next seminar? I'm like, I'm still trying to pay for the first one. And they said, we know, can you barter? And I'm like, what could I possibly do? And they said, we need transcription. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I got so much value by hanging around Jay Abraham, being in a marketing tribe instead of an electrical engineering tribe. And they sent me boxes and boxes of audio cassettes of 30 years of Jay Abraham marketing think tanks, sorted by 30 different topics. And I listened to these audios, and I wrote them, word for word on yellow pads. And, I typed all this stuff, and, I learned so much about marketing because I was helping, I was doing this time freely. I wasn't getting paid for this, but I was getting a world class education. Many people have told me that the work that I did was the equivalent to PhD level work. So they asked if I could do the transcription. I transcribed these 30 years of marketing think tank notes, sorted by 30 different topics, and all of my transcriptions ended up going in the J. Abraham Marketing Encyclopedia. And I ended up gaining like an encyclopedic knowledge of marketing, and it changed my life. And I would not have been able to learn those lessons if I just stayed in the electrical engineering tribe, and I didn't have the flexibility to learn from the marketing and sales tribe. A lot of this work I'm doing, I'm working on this book now called Poverty Ends in the Mirror. It all started when a man named Rehan Alawala from Pakistan, he's trying to end poverty in Pakistan. He started, having people in Pakistan become friends on Facebook with 500 people in other parts of the world, other successful people. And people started becoming friends with me. Rehan was endorsing me and telling people about Joe and become friends with Joe. And I started to realize that a lot of people in Pakistan, they have this poverty consciousness. And the more I started talking to some of the people in Pakistan, I started to realize they just simply have not been exposed to the culture of prosperity. There is a culture of prosperity. There's mindset of prosperity. There is procedures and processes of prosperity. But if you've never been exposed to that, you're going to probably, if you keep thinking what you've been thinking and you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And so I've been inspired to start working on a book called Poverty Ends in the Mirror. And it's really about, making, realizing that we can't blame our circumstances. We can't blame our tribe. We can't blame our parents. It's about looking in the mirror and saying, okay, I want to change. Maybe I was born in a poor family or a poor country or poor circumstances. But if you can look in the mirror and say, even though I was born into this situation, I'm going to make a decision to change it, because poverty ends in the mirror and prosperity begins in the mirror. And so this idea that we are tattooed in our cradles with the beliefs of our tribe is having the willingness to say, okay, I want to learn some things, and I'm not capable of learning this from the people in my tribe because that's not what our culture is about. I'm willing to make friends. I'm willing to study. I'm willing to learn from others who can help me um, think differently, and think accurately and grow rich. It's the book's called Think and Grow Rich, but it's thinking accurately. And I used to think discernment was the ability to sort right from wrong, and it is. But true discernment is also the ability to sort right from almost right, because almost right ain't right. And so that's one of the reasons we need to study from other people, other mentors, other people that we need to go outside of our tribe and learn from other tribal leaders and other tribal experts to learn those things that are not available to us within the tribe which we were born and grew up within. So, look, you can continue to just live in your culture, and do things the way that your culture's always done. Um, and if you want to change, you can try and figure this stuff out on your own, or you can make the choice and say, look, I'm going to travel outside of my tribe. I'm willing to use the internet. I'm willing to find experts in other parts of the world. I'm willing to hire experts to break out of this poverty. I'm willing to learn from, you can't learn from people that haven't done what you're trying to achieve. So this idea of willingness to step out and learn outside of your tribe, learn from others, it could make all the difference. So what's your action item if you have something you want to learn, and you're not able to learn it from the people around you? Then the action step I want to recommend is find out who it is that you do need to learn from. Watch their free stuff, listen to their free stuff, read their free stuff. And if you're really serious about mastering something, be willing to make an investment to learn from those who can teach you. You can't learn from those that, you can't be taught from somebody who hasn't done it themselves. And so, we are tattooed in our cradles with the beliefs of our tribe. If you want to learn new things to transcend what you learned in your tribe and take it to another level, be willing to step outside of your tribe, and learn from those who can teach you best. This is Joe Nicasio, your business mentor. God bless you and have an amazing day.